Hi, all. Welcome to our book launch day for one of our newest books called No Problem Parenting. I love the idea of this book because, first of all, Jackie Schwendeman came to me and said, they did volume 2 of the book and they decided to volume 1 of the book and they decided to do a volume 2. And so here we are today interviewing a couple of the authors. And today we have Denise and Victoria. Oh, the wrong one. Sorry about that. Denise and Victoria Schwendeman. And the title of your chapter is The Power of Play, How Sports Can Build a Child's Confidence. And before we get really into that, Denise, I want to hear from you. I know that you were in the volume 1 of the book, No Problem Parenting. So if you could tell us, what was it about the second volume that made you decide to join?
So it's really interesting. I love the whole process. It was so fun, and Jackie made it really easy to be a part of. But my background and my career is in wellness and health and well-being. And so that chapter was on helping your child manage stress in healthy ways. And it was using essential oils and breathing and exercises like that so that they could come to a problem in their life and work it out themselves, with just a little bit of a tool, that's all. So it's providing tools. And so when Jackie said, we're doing another book, would you like to? And she said, it's about building confidence. And so it may not sound that makes much sense because I'm in natural health and well-being, but the first chapter I wrote was really for my son, because he's the reason I'm in natural health and wellness field to begin with. And so I thought, how great would it be to write it with Victoria, my daughter, meaning that she was an integral part of us all facing what Luke had to face in his health journey and coming out the other end. And a lot of the reason that she is so successful in her life is because of sports. And so we both sat down and said, it'd be really fun to write about how powerful sports can be for children in building their confidence.
I love that. And so it morphed from one topic to the next. And this is one thing I love about these collaborative books is that we all have so many different stories to tell. And so you were able to find 2 different stories to tell in 2 different books on the same series. So I thought that was really cool. So thank you so much for sharing that genesis of that. Victoria, I'm curious because a lot of us don't have the greatest of relationships with our parents, especially girls with their mothers. So I'm curious, when you 2 came together to share, your message in this book together, what was that like, working with your mom?
Oh, working with my mom in anything is very easy for us. We have 2 different personalities, but we really respect each other and respect our own processes of creating things. So it was a very, very easy process. We just sat down, we talked about bullet points that we wanted to hit as a parent and as a coach and former athlete. And it was a very organic and easy process to put this together.
Did you guys have any stumbling blocks along the journey of putting it together?
No, not really, because now as a coach, I understand more where parents can come from. So it was very easy to listen to her side of things and completely understand it, and vice versa.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. And I'm curious, Denise, as a mother of a daughter who was a coach, like you said, previously a coach is volleyball, and as a mother of a child who has those types of aspirations, did you always see that Denise had something that there was something about her that you knew that she was going to be able to excel in that area?
Oh, so Victoria is very athletically talented, and she always was. She started sports at probably the age of 4 or 5, just for fun. That's what we espouse. Have fun. It's really great for kids to be with their friends, to get out and to exercise. And so that's basically what we were doing. And she needed an identity of her own, completely different from her brother. because many times Luke would get a lot of the attention just because his health journey necessitated that, right? And so for her, this is where she excelled. This is where she was good. These were her friends. This was fun. She has a quote in the book that if sports isn't your escape, then you need to take another look at it, right? And so watching her grow and change from multiple sports at pretty high levels, like into junior high and senior high, and then peel away the sports because she knew she wanted one in particular. It was a process, but it was fun to watch. It was fun to participate with, not in the sport itself, but in supporting her and getting her where she needed to be. It was an interesting journey trying to find the right coaches, not so much the right teams, because those kind of came organically, but to find the right coaches and what their outlook are and their mission is very important. And you need to know that before you enroll your child with them for multiple hours a week. So it's been really fun, and it's been great to watch her grow all along in each sport. But volleyball, clear and away, took lead right around, I'm going to say 10th grade. That was it. She was like, yeah, this is it.
This is it. This is it. And I love how you mentioned that, it wasn't as much about finding the team. It was about finding the coach, because the coach really is what creates the team, I believe. So when we have a leader in a certain area, that people are going to gravitate toward that leader a lot of times because of who that leader is. And so that means that if we find the right coach, then we'll undoubtedly find the right team. So now your chapter title, again, is The Power of Play, How Sports Can Build a Child's Confidence. And so why don't you share with us, like either one of you, choose who is going to do it. How did you guys come up with that specific title for the book?
You go ahead, Mom.
Okay. So I think it's a really strong title, because it really is true. If you're supporting your child, we're not talking about pushing, we're not talking about overloading and overscheduling. We're talking about finding a strength your child has and amplifying it for them, supporting them, putting them in the right sport, right? We're not talking about finding the part of the sport that your child doesn't excel in and then beat them down and send them to extra practices. We're really trying to have them shine with what they excel in and make it fun. And so it's so often, I think all of us as parents, it's a tendency to say, oh, you got 4 A's and a B. We need to work on that B. No. Celebrate the A's. Like, you've got kids who are great with their hands. So if they're playing soccer, put them in goalie. Right? Like, don't make them be another position. They're really good with their hands. In volleyball, you have people who think on the court so quickly. Well, then you want them to be, and I'll have Victoria say, you want them to be actually in the libero position or in a setter position. Like, you want them to be where the action is. You have some people who are really strong hitters. You want them at an outside or a right side. Like, there are certain positions that people are naturally good at in different sports. And so amplify that, work with them on that. And that's really what we wanted to get across, that if you're making it fun, and it has to be fun. If this is not an escape for your child, if this is drudgery, if they don't want to come they're like, I don't want to go to practice, I don't want to be there, no, then there's something off. And whether that's with the chemistry of the team or with the coach who sets the chemistry of the team, right? That they set the tone, then you have to address it in a way where you're not that parent. But you still have to protect your child, and you still have to make sure that you're supporting them and giving them what they need for them to take the stepping stones all along. And when they decide the sport isn't for them, it doesn't matter if you love the sport. They want to try something else. Let them try something else. Let them try everything, as long as they're not feeling burdened, and make it fun. And the more you can play with your child in the backyard or on the town field, the better, because then they relate to you differently. And you see where you might have a little struggle, and you work on that, but you don't focus on that. So we tried to do that with Victoria. I'm not a sports person at all. I love all sports, but I don't play any. And so I can't say, Victoria, you need to hit the ball like this, because I have no idea what I'm speaking about, right? That's why you look for really, really solid coaches as kids get more and more advanced in the sport. And this is what I've seen for Victoria. And this is what Victoria is to her players. It is such a joy for me as a parent to watch her on the court now with the girls, because look, kids don't win for trophies. They win for the coach. I didn't say that. Simon Sinek did. Right. And it's true. And after I read that, I go, oh my gosh, that's absolutely true. And so when you see her rapport with her teams, it's just lovely to watch. And you hear parents who don't know who you are make comments about the coach, and they're good. It is really lovely to feel like you know that she's learned from the good experiences and bad that she's had all along the way, and how she's molded how she coaches with all that information. So super fun.
That's fantastic. I love that you've been able to go on this journey with her as well, with Victoria. And we're talking about the book, No Problem Parenting. You can get your copy. Plus there's free gifts, from the authors. Go to actiontakerspublishing.com/NPP. That's /NPP for No Problem Parenting. Go get your copy today and cash in on those free gifts. They're really absolutely awesome. So I want to ask, we have just a little bit of time left. And Victoria, I'm curious, because you went from player to coach, and there are a lot of parents out there. Your mom does not sound like one of these parents that they labeled as helicopter parents. So I'm curious, yourself as a coach, what was it like, or what is it like to work with those helicopter parents? And is there something that anybody can do, I guess, to maybe not help the parents, because there might not be any help there, but you as a coach, how do you help those kids to, I don't know, think differently? I don't know. I'm just asking a random question that might not make any sense.
No, it does make sense. And it is a little hard when you consider that as coaches, we see them for maybe 3 hours a week, as opposed to all of the time that the parents spend with the child, right? So just creating a space where a child can be them. We have practices where parents are not allowed. So parents cannot give their input during practice. That is the time where the coaches who have had experiences playing, who have had experiences coaching, can really create a space where this child is free to be themselves and to listen to the people who really, really know what they're doing. It is important for the parent, like my mother said, to do their research and find a good coach. Please find a good coach, because I have had the privilege of being coached by some incredible people and then some less incredible people. But I have taken experiences from both of them, and it's really, really helped me in coaching to see the side of a player and then the side of a coach, and coaches dealing with parents and everything like that. So with the kids, just really creating a space where they feel safe, where they can have fun with their friends, and where we can teach them as much as we possibly can in the time that we're given with them.
Awesome. I'd love you to speak to, we have like a minute left. So if you can speak to that helicopter parent who may be listening, maybe they don't know they're a helicopter parent, but what would you say to them today to best support their kids?
I would say supporting your kids is sometimes letting go, letting them make mistakes, letting them grow, letting them learn, and putting them in a position where they can learn from the best people possible. Trust the people that you trust your child with.
Oh, I love that. Trust the people that you trust your child with. That's so good. And then Denise, I want to thank you both for being here today. This is fantastic. Denise, I would love for you to share with our audience, what's one thing that you would love for them to take away from reading the book?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. And it's been a joy to be a part of this book. I think the thing about No Problem Parenting is that sometimes parents are the problem. And I'm sure I have made this mistake, because I can go mama bear just like anyone else. But I'm going to agree with Victoria. Step back as your child grows and allow them to take more ownership of their actions, of their goals, their own goals, and of how they want to see that be fulfilled. Give the child a little bit more autonomy to be able to do that, because you'll always be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, so good. I love these interviews, and you two really inspired me to think more about my own daughter. Now she's almost 40, so she's a much older, but just really to think about our relationship. So thank you so much for that gift that you've given me today, and hopefully it's given that gift to some of the other viewers today as well. Again, we were talking about the book No Problem Parenting. Go get your copy today at actiontakerspublishing.com/NPP. And we'll see you guys soon for the next interview. Thanks so much for being here.